Hobgoblins and witches and things that go bump in the night.
Hello and welcome to Evil Dread. I'm Wyeth.
And I'm Lynn.
And this week is Valentine's week.
It's Valentine's Day. We should put in the Outcast song. Happy Valentine's Day.
If only we had that kind of money.
Oh my god, you think anyone listens to this? You're really scared of getting sued because, oh shit, someone who could have listened to this for free on Spotify listened to it on a podcast that 20 people listened to.
Listen, I feel like it would be the one episode where
Where Andre 3000 is like, oh, this looks like something I'd be in. No!
Bring the hammer down on us.
Andre, I love you.
Well,
I love your jumpsuits.
So yeah, it's Valentine's week.
Happy
If
Valentine's
you were to meet
Day.
Lynn on the street,
Oh my.
you would correctly assume that Halloween is her favorite
Valentine's
holiday.
Day is my favorite holiday.
Is it your actual
It's
favorite?
tied.
Oh,
It's tied,
whoa.
Baby. Yep. I love Valentine's Day so much. As you've known for a long time that my bathroom is Valentine's Day themed, and I add things every year. Day after Valentine's, I went out and bought some heart-shaped candles today.
I've not taken the time to.
Everything in that bathroom is pink and shaped like a heart, dude. Are you just really not that perceptive?
I'm in and out. That's my approach to bathrooms.
Bathroom is Valentine's themed. So I love it that much.
So the question is, in a non-judgmental way, why? Explain how.
I love hearts and reds and pinks. I love the aesthetics of it. It's very pretty. I do wish I've lobbied, and no one's listened to me for years, to have a crossover holiday. Because I love blood, guts, and violence and scariness, but I also love pink and hearts. Since I don't fuck with that. I'm like terminally single.
Do you love singing about love in the Eric Andre style?
Love, 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 love. Yeah, yeah, I do. Of course. Chiquita banana, Obama. I love it. I love when Hannibal goes, love!
Truly an iconic moment of our generation.
I love that. No, but yeah, it's not because I, am constantly dating someone. I've been alone like a solid, let's say, I'm about to turn 24. So let's say 22 Valentine's days out of 24. But it's a self-love day, man. You get some Lush products. You get some wine. You make some chocolate-covered strawberries. You get a face mask. You watch My Bloody Valentine in the bathtub like I did. Last night I got a little sick and I had a headache and it really ruined my V-Day. But I did get to do all my fun stuff before that happened. Good. So, no, Valentine's Day to me is a love yourself day. And where you can get some sweets. You can pamper yourself. Everything can be pink and pretty, glittery, confetti.
So what would the crossover, I'm assuming crossover between Valentine's and Halloween, what would you call it? Halloween?
Ooh, I like that. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is creepy as hell also. I read Bloody Disgusting has been doing some solid Valentine's Day reporting yesterday. It's the day after Valentine's Day when we're recording this. And it was like talking about Lupercalia, which was this like fertility ritual where like they would wear like the skins of goats on their genitals and then whip each other with it and stuff. It's a real goth. Valentine's Day is goth as hell.
I mean, you throw goats into any holiday and the goth factor is 100%.
Also, it was Ash Wednesday yesterday.
It was.
Which is super goth. Like, people who don't even listen to Marilyn Manson be walking around like they're about to burn down a church and like they're a Norwegian death metal band or something. They got crosses on their heads and ashes. It's scary, bro. I don't fuck with that. Religion's the true nightmare.
Wow, okay.
That's the scariest
Slow your roll,
holiday.
Nietzsche.
No, man. Like, religious holidays are fucking frightening to me. I don't like them.
Well,
Jesus took the first 3-day weekend. Why?
listen, Jesus was all about self-care.
Oh, God. Okay.
He was busy making drinks for all his friends at weddings.
He's just slicing open his arm and, like, serving it in a martini glass. Drink my bloods. Valentine's Day. I love it.
So look for Halloween in the future.
Halloween. I love it's every day can be Halloween.
Okay. Okay. Hot topic.
I'm a little woozy today. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
I'm not feeling too hot. So we can go off on tangents today. We can just roll with it.
Well,
I'm not stoned and I'm not drunk. Though it may sound like it. I'm on Excedrin.
the people's choice drug.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you crush it up with a mortar and pestle, and then you cook it in a spoon.
I did notice your witch's apothecary in the back.
What?
Whenever I think of like mortar and pestle, I always think of like an apothecary and some old school.
I thought you were like actually referring to something that I have and I don't. I'm sorry.
You do not have like a witch's brew.
Not yet.
Going in the back.
Also, today is half price candy day. I got some Dove. I got some $4 roses I bought for myself.
Nice.
Aldi's is my Valentine today. I got a text from the moon yesterday that said I love you. I have a moon app where it just tells me what the moon's doing, and it sends me messages sometimes.
Okay, that explains the image that you sent Anna Louise and I.
Anna Louise.
Anna Louise.
Mm-hmm. So I listened to that thing y'all did last weekend, and gotta say, not a fan of that movie. It sounds like
neither were we.
I heard, but also like just listening to it made me upset. I didn't like it. I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the episode because I didn't like to hear about it.
Where did you leave off?
Y'all are talking about a hand that supposedly has the ability to navigate.
It's just crawling along like Ash's hand.
I know, but it's just I hate science fiction and spaces and spaceships and space and robots and bodies. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Well,
I don't like worms coming out of men. It sounded like a nightmare.
It's a nightmare on multiple
I'm never
levels.
gonna watch that movie ever.
Nor should you.
I'm scared of a few things.
One fear.
Police. Marionettes.
These are all valid so far.
Space. Robots.
So you were not
Pregnancy.
So that's right. I tried to get you to watch Boston Dynamics. This horror.
You kept sending me shit the other day, and I was like, I ain't even gonna fucking open that. Blocked. I deleted my Facebook. It wasn't because of you, but it was a supplemental factor. Never send me shit like that. Don't send me stuff that's like, oh, have you ever been curious about what fucking monsters live at the bottom of the ocean? No, haven't. Nope. Do you like parasites like magnified 3 million times? No, I don't.
Coming out of a lady's eye.
Disgusting. Nope.
Robots opening doors for each other.
My will to live is so low, and when you send me shit like that and you're like, this is gonna be in the next 5 years, I'm just like, all right, well, let's prepare.
Good run.
Let's get that suicide box going and just have like
what
supplies or something. I'm ready if robots take over. I'm not gonna fight it.
Just throw a magnet at them.
I don't know. Mm-mm. Elon Musk can just go fuck himself.
What?
We don't need...
He's not the one messing with robots.
He definitely is.
He's been warning everyone about the dangers of AI.
I wish scientists would just go away. How's that? We're fine as we are. The more we get, the more technology we get, the worse it's gonna be. if you just listen to what I've been preaching and praying and saying for years, I don't like it. Oh, we can hack the human body. No. Why? Why would we do that? You know what? The one invention I want is a toothpaste that makes it so you don't have a cavity. If we get that, we'll be good.
I agree with that.
Then we can stop.
I feel like we should have advanced in our toothpaste technology by now.
Agree. I have some little cavities and I don't want to go to the dentist.
I brush at least twice a day, mouthwash and everything, and my teeth still aren't white. They just look constantly tan.
What
Tanner
do you
than
feel about My Bloody Valentine?
Okay. It was a movie that I watched. And it is a movie that we picked for this episode.
Yeah, I picked it. Because I watch it every Valentine's Day. I
very
rent it. I watch it in a bubble bath. It's great.
It's a ritual movie for you.
It is.
And
I'm not saying it's good.
it is a movie that I watched this morning, and I can't tell you anyone's names.
Axel and TJ fighting over Sarah. Come on.
Yes, those are things that happen.
Yep. So how do you feel about it? Tell me how you feel about it. I know how I feel about it.
I feel extremely neutral.
Me too. So let's talk about what happens in this movie.
All right, take point. It's
set in a mining town in Nova Scotia.
No one has Nova Scotian accents.
That TJ does. At one point, it's when they're walking on the beach, and Sarah's like, "I just can't pick between you and Axel." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." he does the sorry.
He starts dropping the O's.
Yeah, he does some long O's. So it takes place in a town called Valentine Bluffs, in Nova Scotia, Canada. It is a Canadian-made film. It's made very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. And it's set in a mining community, and the main character is named TJ. He's a miner. He works with his kind of ex-best friend Axel. Because I was like, that's a dumbass name, and I didn't think people actually named their children that. I was like, oh, Mr. Rose of the Guns N' Roses, perhaps, but that's a terrible name to name a child.
It is.
So those two, with their fellow young early 20s men's in this town.
The strapping miners, yeah.
They're all miners and they all work in an underground mine. It's really scary. But yeah, so I like this movie. There was an article on Bloody Disgusting yesterday that I agree with, and it was this town feels like a real town. It does. It a lot of horror movies. It's set in a specific town, and it's a hit or miss. You know, Haddonfield feels pretty real, but sometimes a setting can just be a setting. And they compared and contrasted it to the 2010 remake, My Bloody Valentine 3D,
which is supposed to be pretty fun, actually.
It's free on Prime. Mm-hmm. I'll watch it at some point. But starring one half of that Supernatural brother team. That's why I don't want to watch it. Because I don't like that guy's face. Jensen Ackles. Sounds like a fake name as well. Makes Axel sound like John or something. But I love Valentine Bluffs. They go to a bar that's called the Cage. There's a laundromat. It's really, everything's decorated all cute. It feels like a real small town.
Counterpoint.
Go ahead.
It didn't.
It does.
I got no sense of anything from this movie.
I felt like it was a real community, and that was the thing they did. It's they have a Valentine's Day dance. And I liked most of the people in the town. I didn't think, well, let's get back to plot really quick. So the film starts a cold open of two people in miners' outfits hanging out, going down to the mine. One of them takes off the mask, and it's a nice young lady.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's playing some love games with this person.
When you play those love games.
Is that a song?
Yeah, from Old Greg.
Okay, so they're getting busy. She's kind of stripping off her miner's outfit, and underneath she's just wearing lingerie. and she got a heart tattoo above her titty.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like on the subtitles, it says, breathing becomes rapid. So this man sees the heart tattoo and he's he like can't
triggered.
deal with it. He is. And so then he murders this woman.
Just because he put a pig's axe in...
A pig's axe? A pig's axe? A pig
pig-
ass.
Jesus
A pig's
Christ.
ass.
A pig axe in the wall, strategically placed behind her.
Which if I don't know how my standards are because I don't date a lot of people.
You're not into a minor fetish?
I don't know if I'd like be like, oh yeah, take me if some guy had a fucking pickaxe. I'd be like, hey, maybe put that down or like leave it at the
Also,
outside the door or something.
How do you feel about gas masks?
Well, if used correctly. No, I don't know what that means. I'm not a fan of it. I wouldn't have a midnight rendezvous with a minor. Anyway.
In a mine shaft. Anywho.
What happens next, Wyeth?
The miners...
It cuts to the title.
Cuts to title. My Bloody Valentine.
I love that title.
Unfortunately, not the band.
The band. I love the band.
I love the band, too. I think shoegaze is one of the few things we can agree on.
What if we pronounce shoegaze like fugazi? Shoegaze.
Jesus.
I heard this. Wow. I saw this Tinder message. It was not to me. I'm not on Tinder. I don't fuck with that. But I saw this screenshot of a Tinder message and it said, hey, you look like a handful. I'm looking for someone to rob a bank with. Also, what's shoegaze? I love it. You look like a handful. So, My Bloody Valentine. What happens next, Wyatt?
The strapping young miners are all like, let's go into town and drink the brews.
I like this movie.
Crack some cold ones open.
That one lady got cracked open, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But I like this movie because it's not... So many horror movies are like 16, 17-year-olds who are just like incredibly obnoxious and just banging it out constantly, you know? These people, they feel like young adults. They're not terribly unlikable. They feel like real people. I think most of these people in this town feel like real people. It's not like cartoony or like over the top or just like people to set up to knock down, you know? There's not a lot of archetypes.
That's true.
I mean,
there is a lot of banging, though.
Yeah, but I don't think... It just feels, I don't know, more Canadian than other slasher movies, you know? It's just a little bit more, like, grounded.
A little bit more polite.
I feel like these are the people who would hang out with my dad. You know, like, 23-year-old dudes who, like, kind of work blue collar.
Yeah. And,
you know... The highlight of their day is to go hang out with their girlfriends at the bar or whatever. And they're not... I think a lot of... Like, the worst movie I've seen in recent memory was Night of the Demons.
That is a very kind of mean-spirited...
They're so mean and just, like, make fun of each other. And, like, even when they, like, curse or, like, you know, like... hurl epithets at each other. I'm like, none of you people are likable. You're the bimbo. You're the fat asshole. You're this person. You're the token person of color. You know, it's just like so archetypal. But I feel like these are just like decent, hardworking dudes.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah. And genuinely, well, like kind of the main personal storyline of the film is TJ went to the West Coast and tried to like make it, get a job, do his own thing. He failed, so he comes back and his ex-girlfriend Sarah is with his old best friend Axel now, which it felt like a real like personal storyline to me.
I didn't like it at all.
Why?
Because Axel and TJ were constantly fighting and Sarah never had a say.
I agree. That's true. I don't think they weren't fighting in a way that it was like knockdown drag out all the time.
No.
And at one point when they're like in the like car yard or whatever, he like gives him a drink and he's like, so what are we gonna do about this? You know, there's kind of like a mutual respect, but they both like are in love with this woman.
They do try to fight though. And
I know, but it's not constant. It's not true. Just like, fuck you, you know?
So
I feel like in a different movie, it could have been one, clearly that one was right and one was wrong, which I don't think it did. I think it makes sense for her to be like, but you left this town. What, is this town not good enough for you? Like, do you want something more than this? I feel there's like a real, like, I don't know. There was a sense of like sadness and like kind of dead end street to this town, which I feel like was like my hometown kind of.
Yeah.
Like you just get a job at a factory or, you know, at the mine or whatever, or the, you know, oil company, and then you just like live, you know. There's not, and he kind of wanted more, so and she felt left behind.
Well, that was her choice.
I know, but I don't know, it just has a little bit more depth than I expected when I first saw it.
I can agree with that.
And also, it's called My Bloody Valentine. I think we would have been foolish to not think that there would be a romance aspect to this movie.
What a twist.
I mean, duh. And I mean, Axel is not in a weaker movie. He would have been like alpha male asshole number one, you know. But he's not. I mean, he does make some stupid decisions, but they genuinely, like, you can tell they used to be friends, and that they liked each other before this thing came in between them.
Well, the plot.
Harry Warden. Tell me about Harry Warden, Wyeth.
Harry Warden?
The main villain of the film that you watched 2 hours ago.
Great grandfather of Harry Hole from The Snowman.
If they were great grandfather, he would have the same last name, Wyatt.
Different side of the family tree.
Tell me what happened. What is the legacy? What is the impetus of the film?
The dark cloud hanging over Valentine's Bluff is a mining accident that happened like 14 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
And there was a cave-in at the mine, and the miners were trapped.
Yeah, we hear this all from the classic old man bartender who's like, you're a bunch of assholes.
You kids.
Don't make fun of Harry Warden.
You children don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but he found the people.
Yeah, so the rescue operations get underway, and they find Harry in the hole.
I hate you.
They find him gnawing on someone else's arm.
So everyone has died in this cave-in except Harry Warden, and he went mad, and he had to eat his friends and co-workers to survive. Very Until Dawn-esque.
It's a survival tactic.
You know.
Throw yourself a Donner Party.
This movie is not that scary, but that is kind of, like, jarring when they cut to him and he's, like, screaming, just, like...
Screaming and eating.
Well, like, he hadn't seen light in, like, 2 weeks or something, and he's, like, screeching. It's really upsetting.
That was the one moment I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. So they take him...
They pull him out.
He goes to a mental institution, which, good, you know? He wasn't doing too well.
No.
A year later, on Valentine's Day...
The titular massacre.
He escapes... And this town always held a Valentine's Day dance.
And he has an axe to pick with the folks. You're so funny, Mark.
So he kills all the people who were kind of responsible for the cave-in. All right. So...
What?
Yes.
How are they responsible for the cave-in?
The people... Okay, some people left early to go to the dance.
Oh...
And they were like the supervisors, and they left before everyone was out safely.
Okay.
So he kills his old supervisors, and so this town for the past 20 years has been afraid to throw a Valentine's Day dance because they feel like the spirit, like, that was his thing, like, never throw another Valentine's Day dance in this town or Harry Warden will return, which is kind of like the urban legend part of it because, like, supposedly he is in a mental institution and can't get out. But... what happens,
The teens who don't respect the local legends.
I feel like they're about 25.
The post-teens.
Yes, the young folks. They're throwing a Valentine's Day dance. The mayor's in on it. The mayor, who is TJ's dad.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff is in on it. Mabel. I love Mabel. She's sweet. She owns the laundromat. She has a decorating committee. Everything in this town has hearts on it, which I love. I love hearts and pink and red and cupids. Super cool to look at. I love this movie. They go to the dance hall. It's like the Union Hall is where they hold this. It's like day before prom. They're all putting up ribbons and shit and all that. The minors come and hang out with their girlfriends who are all there. The mayor comes in and it's revealed that TJ is the mayor's son.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's kind of a rift between them because I think TJ thought he was too good to work in the mines in this town.
Which, I mean, if you can get out of your blue-collar job and go better yourself, go for it.
As someone who did, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But you can tell, like, that's like a realistic human issue, though. Like, I feel like I'm gonna keep on saying this movie is grounded in reality because I think, like, stuff like I feel like it's interesting to me to have a horror movie set in like dying communities, especially stuff like Don't Breathe, where it's like
Don't Breathe,
poverty and like Detroit as being like
the big 3 Detroit movies. Don't Breathe, It Follows, and Only Lovers
Left Alive. I love those movies.
Those are fantastic.
But it's all kind of based in this kind of like desperation. To get out, to kind of be better than your parents in terms of financial security. That like this setting, like the better days have gone, and now we're just stuck.
It reminded me kind of the community in Tremors, which has a real people just kind of filtered down to here and nowhere else to go. Which that's a movie that I feel like does a good job of establishing like location. Yeah, I haven't seen the first one in a long time. Well, it's fucked up. If only we had. I don't like worms. If only we had a horror show that we could do it for. Oh my god. So yeah, the mayor is at the Union Hall. And someone is like, "Oh, hey, Mayor, somebody left this for you." And it's that's a good Nova Scotian accent. Thank you. It's a Valentine. It's like a candy chocolate box. Heart box, yeah. What's in it, Wyatt? What's in the box? Spoilers. It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's head. It's a heart. Yep. And it's the card starts out like very nice, like roses are red, violets are blue. Soon you all be dead. Something like that. Yeah. So it's like, well, I told you not to do it again. And the mayor's reaction is really fucking funny because like, he's in the passenger seat of the sheriff's truck and he just goes, ah. He clutches his head back, clutches his chest. Clutches his pearls. He's like, it's happening again. Like, it's awesome. Is that where that line's from? What? It's happening again? No. What line? That's just a common phrase. Because, like, be afraid. Be very afraid. Is like a famous horror movie tagline. That's from It's from The Fly. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't think this movie made that big of a splash to, like, put something into, like, the vernacular like that. Or maybe just the recent Twin Peaks season. Oh, yeah. It's happening again, for sure. But, so that was on... It's funny because it's like Thursday, February 12th is when it starts. And then the next title card is Saturday, February 14th. What's in between that? Friday, February 13th. Oh, it's so fun. I love the little details. Maybe the miner crossed paths with Jason. Got some tips. He does have kind of a Jason-esque thing going. It's very masked, very big, very I'm wielding something. Wielding a tool. How did you feel about the, like... Because Harry Warden isn't really, like,
top tier slasher.
Mm-hmm.
But once you filter down kind of past the Jasons, the Michaels, the Freddys, all that, he is iconic in certain horror circles.
Like, it's a cult movie.
Yes. But, like, how did you... Was it, like, striking? Or, like, did you like the design? Or was it... Can you, like... Is there a reason that's become kind of, like, iconography in the horror community?
I think, especially in slashers, a hulking masked man is always going to be like an important part of horror iconography.
Yeah.
And so anything where it's done well, like in this movie, he has a screen presence. That's done well. And so I think that's going to resonate with horror fans.
I think part of it that they utilize to some degree, but not as much as they could, I think would be the headlamp and just kind of like blinding people.
It did come up, kind of.
It did a little bit when Sarah's walking home and she sees a light and she thinks it's him, but it's the sheriff. But it's just like, I think that could have been... That's a really cool detail. I almost bought a Harry Warden mask for $35 off the internet this week. I didn't.
That would have been a heck of a treat yourself.
I have quite a few, like, masks and, like, slasher stuff around, so it would have been would have been a worthy addition.
I could see you putting up, like, a shelf and just having individual pieces of famous slashers.
They're all just kind of scattered about now. I got my Scream mask, my Your Next mask,
Freddy
glove.
It's kind of a I Spy.
It is. I like it. When new people come over to my house, they really don't know what to do or look at.
There's a lot.
Just keep adding, baby.
It is iconic.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like I might be getting sick because I'm just spacing out. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I'll take
I started this. He was like, you start the podcast this time. And I'm like, hey, everybody, welcome to Evil Dead. And then I had to, like, stop.
We both, like...
Do it again.
Okay, so at this point in the movie, everyone's still planning for the dance. Bringing the dance
Mabel's death. I love Mabel.
Mabel is...
She has a crush on the sheriff.
Is it Mabel or Maple?
Mabel.
Mabel.
Yes. It's like Madame Mabel's laundromat. But it feels like the people in this... It's kind of Twin Peaksian because I'm like, oh, she has a crush on the sheriff. The sheriff is like, you know, it's very...
They're smitten.
There's like some realistic relationships going on.
I feel like the ladies got the short end in this movie because
it's 1981. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Don't ask a lot from this movie, but if you go in with very low expectations like I did, it'll surpass them. You're like, okay, this is surprising in some ways. I like it.
The thing I hear about the remake is that it's more tongue-in-cheek.
Ew.
And self-aware.
See, I feel like this is a very genuine movie in terms of, like, writing.
But, like, you can be self-aware and not be like Eli Roth. And I feel like...
Yeah. Can we talk about the fact that his Death Wish movie is coming out next month when we had another school shooting yesterday that killed 17 people? I think at this point in time, the last thing we need is a Death Wish movie. Where it's like, oh, I'm an angry white man. I'm gonna get revenge on all the people who wronged me by blowing them the fuck away with a giant gun.
I mean, that's the same... But we could use the same argument for, like, The Punisher.
I don't know. I think that one was done with a more... I don't trust Eli Roth to be subtle. How's that?
Well, I was going to say anyone's more subtle or nuanced than Eli Roth.
There are no complexities.
No.
Like, no. I feel like The Punisher, it did get a lot of shit when it came out for glamorizing guns, but I think it was more from a critical perspective of, like, this is, you know, talking about veterans and how we treat our military and lack of healthcare.
Nuances than expected.
Definitely. I mean, like... I feel like it explored it in a way that wasn't glamorizing, and I haven't seen this fucking movie, and nor will I, but I'm like, wow, great timing, Eli.
I'll always be okay with, like, a movie where, like, a good guy shoots at bad guys, because that's fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, if we start, like, if we start saying, like, violence is in movies is always poorly timed, then, like, what about horror movies?
I don't think it is, though. I feel like the Death Wish legacy is about, like, a man wronged by a crime committed by people of color in inner cities, which is not a good way to go.
Well, I didn't know there was a whole race card in it.
I mean, I don't know, in the most current movie, they may have made it all white to kind of navigate that, but when it came out in the 70s and 80s, it was,
well,
like,
that's obviously problematic.
Well, yeah, like Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry was the
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, but it was
yes.
Zodiac.
What?
Dirty Harry's based off the Zodiac killer.
Well, I mean, the kind of iconic "Make My Day" thing was definitely towards, like, a black kid. So I'm not a fan of middle-aged avenging white guy with a gun set loose in a city genre. You know, I think there's room for it to surprise me, like in The Punisher, where I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You know.
I mean, that's...
Also, he's fighting against, like, the military-industrial complex and, like, corruption within...
Not in, like, in, Daredevil Season 2.
He's fighting against, like, the mob in that one.
Yeah.
I think in the series, like, going against, like, a corrupt government entity, I can get behind that.
So
I'm critical of the government and the military. I don't think that's a surprise.
That feels kind of picky if you're going to be, like, only going to approve, like, white guy with gun is good against these villains, but not good against these villains.
Okay, how about I like John Bernthal and I don't like Eli Roth?
I agree with that.
Okay. He just seems a little tone deaf.
Just throwing it out there. I don't want to come across as defending Eli Roth in any capacity.
Wyatt loves Eli Roth. Wyatt thinks Coolsville sucks.
Well, time to sue Lynn for libel.
Do you remember that in, like, Scooby-Doo 2 or
whatever? What? What? Why would I just randomly know Scooby-Doo 2
Everyone
trivia?
in my generation has seen Scooby-Doo 2
I'm part
Monsters
of your
Unleashed.
generation, and I have not.
So Fred is talking to the news people, and he's like, "You're just gonna edit it." So I say, "Hey, I'm Fred, and I think Coolsville sucks." And then they're like, "Tonight at 5, Fred Jones," and he's like, "I think Coolsville sucks." It's a perfectly done joke. Anyway, Mabel at the laundromat. Mabel at the laundromat. My favorite scene of this movie.
That's a good song title.
Mabel at the laundromat. My favorite scene of this movie by Fall Out Boy.
Well, if you make it long, yeah.
So Mabel gets a lovely little box of chocolates. I love those. I love the old ones. I think they're, like, the cutest designs. I love frillies and lace and bows on boxes shaped like hearts. I love them. So she gets one of those and she's like, oh, and she thinks it's from the sheriff. And she's like, ooh, I love it. And she opens it, and what is it?
Another heart.
Another heart. He harvests hearts. Very on brand. That's the perfect... My love of gore and scariness, and my love of hearts and Valentine's Day comes together in the beautiful image of a heart box being opened and a human heart inside. I love that image.
Would you say that is your purest vision of poetic cinema?
Poetic cinema. Add some neon light, some neon signs. Yeah.
You know who would probably do a good job with that?
Who?
Nicholas Winding Refn. He does love his neon lights.
He's problematic. I agree. His movies are pretty, but also, like, I feel like he doesn't like women very much. I didn't see the Neon Demon, but I heard there's some necrophilia and some women abusing. So that's why I didn't see it. So, Mabel gets the card and she's like, oh no, it's a heart. Turns around. Who's there, Wyeth?
The miner.
Harry Warden. There he is. And
in full regalia.
And she's all like, no.
So she panics for about 45 minutes.
False. Maybe 45 seconds. You're over-exaggerating. He gets her. He stabs her. He puts her in a washing machine. Dryer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a dryer gets hot enough to melt the skin off a human woman's face.
No.
Kind of cool, though.
You would suffocate.
Oh. She was already dead, also. She got poked.
Yep, she got the axe.
Mm-hmm. So, the sheriff comes in, he's like, Mabel! And she's dead. And they're like, the sheriff here makes a grave mistake. He's like, I don't want anybody knowing that Harry Warden's back. I'm like, great idea. Just, like, let him go in ignorance, I guess. And he's like, Mabel had a heart attack. I'm like, very on brand. I like it. I like the heart imagery. However, they're like, the young kids are like, Mabel would have wanted us to have a party. They're like, no parties.
Well, one kid's like, well, if we can't have a dance, we'll have a party.
Yeah, and then TJ's like, why don't we have a party in the mines? And I'm like, you fool.
The stupidest idea I've ever heard.
It's not like, well, when they say it, I'm like, that's really dumb. Because I'm thinking they're just going to be like with headlamps. I'm getting yawn. Like 20k feet underground or some shit. They have like a rec room. They're in like the office area of the mine. They have a pool table and like a kitchen. It's not like they're in the mines.
Yeah.
So, that's a cool party space.
Let's talk about the most ridiculous scene. Outside of the banjo cover of Yakety Sax that came on. Yeah, at the beginning when
they're country folk. They're Nova Scotians.
Because when I think of Nova Scotia, I think banjos.
I feel like there's some backwards ass country rural people wherever.
In the beginning of the movie, when the miners are going to town, they're all like hustling to their cars and the banjo Yakety Sax is playing.
I love the detail. It's like, this could be set. I love that it's like very uniquely Canadian, but it also could be set in any small town in the Midwest or Mid-South.
That's true.
Because like there's a really great detail, and it's like you're listening to QPID, Valentine's Bluff's premier country radio, Cupid 109.3.
You really
it's
nailed
super cute.
the country disc jockey.
I love it.
So they're going off to host the party at the mines, and that's when the bartender's like, I'll show those kids.
He's just, how boring do you think it would be to be a bartender in a town of like 3,000? My town doesn't even have a bar.
Well, it's probably...
We had a bar for a while, and it was called the Alibi Lounge.
What happened to it?
It shut down because too many people drink at home or don't drink because they're judgmental Christians.
Thanks. Well, so the bartender...
Wait. My grandpa used to go to a bar called the He's Not Here Lounge, and they would answer the phone and go, he's not here.
That's pretty good.
Life's so funny sometimes, isn't it, Wyatt?
It is. It has its moments. So the bartender is like, I'll show those kids who don't take me seriously. And he proceeds to prove the kids right and that they shouldn't take him seriously. He rigs up
I just gave Wyatt some slime I made. I thought he could do it while he talked, but it's just too transfixing.
So he rigs up a dummy behind a door.
That's funny.
Yeah, he does it. He keeps opening and closing the door. God, this is impossible. Talk while petting this.
You're too stimulated.
So he rigs up the dummy to like raise a pickaxe at whoever enters through the door.
That's kind of a very Scream-esque, like, oh, I'm gonna get a similar costume and I'm gonna scare people, you know.
And
I sound drunk right now. I don't know what's happening.
I think you're just into it.
I'm just a little tired. The movie.
So he rigs it, and he keeps opening the door and cackling at his own joke like old men do.
I do that too, though.
Open doors and cackle at whatever's behind there.
If I make a joke, I'll laugh about it at least 5 times. If you could see me texting you and Al, I am constantly...
I've seen you in person when you send us Tumblr things. Here's a RuPaul meme.
I crack myself
only
up.
I will get.
If I'm not gonna laugh at myself, who will?
I will.
And you think that bartender has someone to laugh at him?
Don't you want somebody to laugh at?
Don't you want somebody to laugh at? You better find somebody to laugh.
So he opens the door multiple times, and at one of the points he
does it really fun. He like opens the door, pauses, and then throws his head back and goes, ah!
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And he opens it one time, and the dummy's gone. And he's like, oh, okay.
Well, he walks away before noticing, which was very funny.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the dummy was gone. I think he opened it, and it was real-life Harry Warden. And
yeah,
he was
because
like,
the arm didn't raise. He realized that. So he goes back and reopens it and gets axed.
Axed.
You've been axled.
You've been axed. Hey, don't give it away.
What?
I like that scene. I love I keep going back to Scooby-Doo on this day.
Who could have foreseen the Scooby-Doo revival?
It is kind of a Scooby-Doo episode, this villain. He could be Scooby-Doo.
He would have gotten away with it, too.
He is wearing a mask.
If it weren't for those meddling kids.
It could easily have been a Scooby-Doo villain.
Easily.
The gang shows up at Valentine Bluffs. And they're like...
Well, now I just pictured Always Sunny showing up.
No! I meant the Scooby Gang! And not the Scooby Gang from Buffy, the actual Scoobs.
Mm-hmm.
Shaggy's like, oh, zoinks! My cousin's a minor! It would be really cute.
Would it be on par in terms of, like, terrifying as Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island?
Oh, fuck that.
Because as a child, that fucked me up.
It is! My friend and I watched it a year ago, maybe.
Does it
on
hold
like
up?
Google Hangouts. It's very scary.
Oh, it's terrifying.
And there's a character named Snakebite Scruggs. And my friend was like, "Only call me Snakebite Scruggs from now on." We're both just playing with slime I made last weekend.
This is a wild episode.
Last weekend, I went to Albuquerque to do a presentation at a conference, and I talked about cabin horror and how in movies like Evil Dead and The Witch and Honeymoon, like the cabin and the female body, the cabin and the female body are similar because they're both kind of spaces of civilizational occupation. And how decolonialist cabin horror is. It sounds better when I read it.
I have a recommendation. I just remembered.
What?
But remind me when we get to that part.
Okay.
Because I've been forgetting it for weeks.
That's the sound of my slime squishing. But most of all, I went and hung out with my friend Abby, and we made a cubic metric ton of slime.
Yeah, I see it. This is
not even half the slime we made.
This is profoundly hypnotizing.
Soothing, if you will.
I will.
I made some Valentine's themed slime that I'm playing with right now.
So the bartenders...
And no, I'm not done. This Harry Warden's just walking around in full regalia, just murdering people unnoticed.
Left and right.
He's downtown. He's hanging out.
Gets around so fast.
I almost spilled some of my slime. Sorry.
For a town it's a pretty empty town. it feels very empty.
Yeah, but that just means, like, I don't know. I feel like somebody would see him.
Just
dragging people by their heads.
Yeah. But I mean, how would you go about reporting if
hey, there's a miner outside. No duh, bitch.
We are a mining community.
He has a person on the end of his axe.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Anyway, so that guy's dead, unfortunately. The one bartender in town. How are people gonna do their laundry now? How are people gonna get a damn beer at the cage now? Harry Warden is a menace. This town has 15 people in it.
He really went after some valuable institutions.
He did. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make it so no one can separate their darks and their lights, and no one can get a Heineken.
Also, I'm going to shut down the main source of the economy by ruining the mine.
That's true. What happens after this movie? This town just
we'll get
gets
into
sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Unincorporated township.
So what happens next, Wyatt?
The kid...
We should do this every episode. We should play with slime while we talk.
It's going to be our gimmick.
It keeps my hands busy. Make some good slime. This is a good batch, ain't it?
This is.
Mm-hmm. Not too sticky.
So the kids are partying away at the mines.
You like those hot dogs they were making?
No.
They looked really gross. It was some gray ass hot dogs.
Do hot dogs ever look good?
When I was in Albuquerque, we got Uber Eats. I got Uber Eats for the first time, and I was scared too because I did see American Vandal, and that guy ate all of people's fries when he did Postmates. But we ordered Uber Eats from
# justice for Dylan.
Urban Hot Dog Company, and I got a hot dog with onion strings and spicy sauce on it. It was the best shit I ever had in my life, man. That's why it's slapping his own ass and making hard eye contact with me.
Don't know what to say to that.
He does that to establish dominance sometimes.
I just take a book from the chimpanzees.
Yep.
So yeah, they're making the world's worst looking hot dogs.
Very gray. But they're having a good time, I mean, they do. People are banging it out, but not.
They're trying to.
But it's not like you're not seeing titties left and right. It's not like super gross, like some slashers or like Night of the Demons. I'm just gonna keep on
dragging.
Keep on ripping Night of the Demons a new one because I hate that fucking movie and I didn't even finish it.
Drag it like Dragula.
Slam in the back of my Dragula. Dig through the ditches, burn through the witches.
Yeah.
Slam in the back of my Dragula.
Iconic.
I need that hat that says, I'd rather be slamming in the back of my Dragula.
Police officer. Sir, I caught you going 60 in a 45. Sorry, officer, I was slamming in the back of my Dragula. Oh, carry on then.
I slammed in the back of my Dragula and all I got was this t-shirt. Alright, so what happened? They're just hanging out. Axel and TJ are kind of, he's like, well, let's talk about him, TJ and Sarah going down to the beach. They talk a little bit.
They have a heart-to-heart, a little bit of reunion.
She's like, what? How could you left. That's not my fault. You left. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry. I thought I could make something of myself and all that. So she's like, all right, I want to get back with TJ now. Because he was her first love. She's kind of just with Axel because TJ left.
Because this town doesn't have a whole lot.
There are not a lot of people. One of them
options.
looks like the guy from Animal House. D-Day from Animal House. He's this fat dude with like a handlebar mustache and glasses.
That was quite the stash.
I liked him. Also, he didn't have a hard time getting a lady.
No.
Nova Scotian ladies, they'll take you as you are, you know? There's not a lot of options in those kinds of towns.
Salt of the earth.
I look back on the crushes I had in high school and I'm like, man, you just like didn't wear camo and that was all I needed. That was the bare minimum.
To be fair, that's a pretty big deal. Especially in our neck of the woods.
That's true. You didn't dip.
Every day Al doesn't wear camo, I'm thankful.
So you're thankful every day.
I am.
Until today.
One day.
Oh no.
We can't see her. She might be wearing camo right now.
She's in the room with us.
The owl came from inside the house.
She's gonna get on Farmers Only and she's gonna leave you.
Oh my god.
You don't have to be lonely with farmersonly.com. City folks just don't understand.
Forget Blue Apron. Farmers Only.
We're sponsored by Farmers Only here, and from now on, we are only going to do small town, rural, community based horror movies.
Are you single and love agriculture?
Do you like to mine, but also think that maybe you could make it in a city if you just weren't born here?
Are you just a
and your
small
dad
town
wasn't
girl
the mayor?
looking to not get killed?
Are you torn between a man named TJ and a man named Axel?
If so, Farmers Only.
Miners only.
included.
Oh my god. Okay, so they go to the party and TJ's like, she's with me now. And Axel's like, says who?
That was a
and
good
Sarah,
Arnold.
Thank you. And Sarah's like, stop it, boys.
Let me speak. Finally.
I felt like Fred Armisen when he. I hate Fred Armisen. He was abusive to Elizabeth Moss and I. Do you remember where you were when you found out Natasha Lyonne was straight and dating Fred Armisen? Because my heart fell. Natasha Lyonne, lesbian or gay woman icon. She was in But I'm a Cheerleader and Orange is the New Black and Slums of Beverly Hills. Anyway, she plays a lesbian in like everything and she's so baby and I love her to death. But she's straight and dating Fred Armisen. I mean, and like I feel like every gay woman is like knows where they were when they found out Natasha Lyonne was straight. Well, it was like our JFK.
Well, whatever, she's straight, but she could do a lot better than Fred.
Oh, honey, I know. But I feel like this is really going off on a tangent, isn't it?
This is our big tangent episode.
We didn't have really a lot to say. But I feel like Fred Armisen in that Portlandia sketch where he's like a feminist bookshop owner and they go to the basketball game and they see the scantily clad cheerleaders and he goes, let them speak. Let her speak. This is a private dance. Don't look away. Let her speak. That's how I feel about Sarah. So what about the guy who gets his face pushed into the hot dogs?
Yeah,
that's how I would die probably.
Ugh.
Not of choice, but it'd just be like, oh shit,
a boiling vat of gray meat. That's
like my luck. I mean,
it's pretty awful.
Like you're gonna be defined by your relationship with
meat,
with wieners.
Ugh.
That happened in... Well, the guy didn't die, but it happened in Sleepaway Camp, too. He had, like, a boiling...
Boiling pot. The chef. The creepy chef.
I hate that movie. It did give us the iconic line, eat shit and die, Ricky. Eat shit and live, Bill.
Anyway, so, yeah. So the minor, Harry, is at the party. He's...
unnoticed.
Naturally, and
creeping around.
There's a couple trying to bang it out in the back room.
I was about to say bang it out. I love that that's the nomenclature for this episode specifically. Let's just call it banging it out from now on.
Sure. Okay. So I genuinely thought that couple were on like a log saw.
I think they might have been.
Like I thought that.
You can't find any horizontal flat surfaces. You're really making a lot of noise. Be aware that this is a microphone, Wyatt. He's trying to get this slime off his hand. But you can't find a lot of horizontal flat surfaces in a fucking mine to, get ripped up on. That was gross. To bang it out on.
This is better. So the guy's like, I'm going to get some beverages. No, you stay here. I'm like...
She's like, I'll be with you! And he's like, no, it's okay, babe.
Why don't you just let your girl come get beers with you?
Because he didn't want to kill the mood. He wanted to keep the ambiance of a mine.
Of a mine. Listen, if
take me to a mine or lose me forever.
What?
Isn't it like... What is it? That's from a movie. It's like sleep with me tonight or lose me forever. Take me to a mine or lose me forever.
That's stupid. If you find someone you want to bang it out with, stick with them.
In a mine.
Not in a mine. Just PSA.
Only in a mine.
Not that romantic.
Yep.
So anyway, the guy goes off.
You could get some sexy black lung.
The guy goes off, and Harry strikes.
Yeah. How does she die? There are multiple couples who are like, we're gonna go bang it out. And then he's like,
My time has come.
He kills him. How did that lady die? She doesn't get hooked, right?
Yes.
Somebody else gets hooked.
No, she gets hooked onto a shower head.
Ew. That is, did you like that homoeroticness at the beginning of the movie? It's so weird because all of these 80s, 70s and 80s movies, this is 81, so it's barely the 80s. 70s and 80s movies are like super masculine dudes who like, I feel like if they were alive today, they'd be like, no homo, bro, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they're all taking showers together and like slapping each other's ass and stuff. And like that was at the beginning of the movie. They're all slapping ass, playing grab ass. That also happens in Stranger Things 2. Mm-hmm. When Billy's like, I'm going to assert dominance over you with my dick out.
I hated Billy so much.
Me too. I hated him. They were really trying to make him Michael from The Lost Boys. Mm-hmm. But he was more Sam from The Lost Boys, if you know what I mean.
But how can we forget the gayest movie of Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
We need to watch The Covenant. That's the real gayest movie.
I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that movie. It ruined a date for me once.
Really?
Because I was so jazzed. Also, this was before I like had come out to myself. And I was like so jazzed to see like the most campy, stupidest like gay dude movie where they're all man witches. They're male witches. They're man witches.
Oh my god, I hated that.
And it was so funny and so stupid, and I was in such a mood. I kept making gay jokes to my date, and I think he thought I was homophobic. And then he ran for the mayor of Albuquerque.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't go on a second date.
No loss.
Anyway, what happens next?
So the kids get the bright idea of let's go down into the actual mine.
Well, fat guy is like, it's 20,000 feet down. Let's show the girls. And TJ's like, there's no women allowed in the mines. Which,
what goes
feminism hasn't reached Nova Scotia yet, I guess.
Who knows what goes on there?
Women not allowed in the mine, just nude men grabbing ass. Quit being on that phone. What happens next?
So, they go down.
What happens?
Okay, this is at the point where I really started to lose track of what was happening.
Oh my god. Well, the first hour of the movie is the best hour. So, they go down there, they find some people's bodies. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh shit, now I gotta go.
It was at this point where I started to be like, the miner's one of them.
How did you know this?
My plot twist senses were tingling.
Ooh, okay. Well, we have not seen Harry Warden's face, right? Mm-hmm. It's just been some guy running around in a miner's outfit.
And the whole time, the sheriff has been trying to contact the
mental institution
where he's supposedly kept. And I'm like, and the more I thought about it, if he were to have actually escaped, they would have had that established early on.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. That is kind of how it's established in Slumber Party Massacre 1. It would have been on the radio.
Yeah.
And then they're like, turn that shit down, bro.
Turn back the tunes.
And so they find Hot Dog Dude's head in the fridge. They also find his heart, now gray meat, with the hot dogs, which was the grossest part of this movie. They were like, what is this? And they were like, oh, those guys are just playing tricks on us, man.
Nope.
So they find that guy. So at the rec room and the party, they're like, he's dead. And they all freak out. And TJ's like, Sarah and her friends are down. He has such a weird accent. They're down in the mines. And people are like, all right, we gotta go get them. So that starts the rescue of those in the mines.
Rescue attempt 1.
Yes. What happens next?
So they go down into the mines. The party, the kids down there start to get picked off one by one.
Can I tell you who I really liked? Who didn't deserve to die?
The chick in the red dress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good friend.
Yeah.
She was great.
I liked her. I was really rooting for her.
And she was like a good friend and not dumb in a way that I was like, oh, well, she deserves to die because she's so stupid. You know, she was climbing up the ladder at some point.
But she was in heels and scared of heights.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, oh, you dumb bitch, you know, like it could have been in other horror movies. I feel like in a lot of horror movies, it's like, oh, it's fun to watch all these people die because they're so inept, you know. But she was a good friend.
I was rooting for her.
She was great.
I think when I like it when slasher movies where you can be, where there's a sense of fun in where people are killed. Like it's kind of along the same lines of like seeing bad guys get shot, but like the jerks in horror.
Wyeth is very pro gun.
What? That is nothing.
Anyway, go on.
Like, you know when you watch a horror movie and someone dies and you're like, they deserve that.
Yeah, if you're an asshole in a horror movie, I'm like, all right, it's going to be satisfying to see you die. No one in this movie is really an asshole. The closest is Axel, when in reality, he's just like, you missed your chance. I love this person, and maybe I'm not the best to her all the time.
I think
you
that's, like...
There wasn't really a villain in this movie other than Harry Warden, you know, in terms of the regular people. Like the mayor could have easily been
the guy from Jaws.
We're gonna have this Valentine's dance because this town needs money or whatever. But he wasn't.
I don't care if there's a Valentine shark.
That would be an amazing movie. But he was like, no, we're gonna cancel this dance because I don't want people in my town to die. Like, they're all pretty genuine people who like aren't bad people until the end.
Until the end.
Which, interesting. Well, let's talk about it one by one. Poor fat guy. He gets killed. I might have been doing a face mask during this time, so I might not have had my glasses on.
He gets nail gun to the head.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that. He
got
was
nailed.
cool. I liked him. I liked everyone in this movie. But obnoxious guy got his head ripped off.
Yes.
That was interesting.
He got ripped off because he was on a noose.
He was hung and thrown off something.
And the noose pulled so tight it popped like champagne corks.
Like a champagne.
Mean!
I'm sorry.
Mean!
So one by one until it's just Sarah and TJ. I like TJ. He's nice. All these guys in this movie, that's something I like. It's just like, they're not afraid to be like, I love you and I care about you and I want to be with you, you know? But you would, I don't know, I feel like you would think that they'd all be like hyper masculine, like gross dickheads because they're like in such a blue collar job and it's such a small town or whatever. But they're very like earnest and honest about their feelings.
Too gross.
No.
I think the thing about this movie, like, I didn't hate anyone, but I also didn't like anyone.
I really liked friend of Sarah.
Enough to know her
TJ.
name.
Yeah.
I rooted for Sarah at the end and her friend.
Yeah.
Her friend takes a pickaxe to the gut.
Oof. Honey. Okay, question. That did happen, and then it cuts and Sarah is alone walking. And I'm like, where did Harry Warden go? You didn't run away. It's a pretty amateur hour at some points in this movie.
Well, I have some thoughts about that, but
okay.
we'll save
I was like, that seemed like it could have been a dream sequence. It was so abrupt.
It was. Just
go ahead.
Turn the corner, and there's a pickaxe in her gut.
And then no follow-up.
So Sarah's alone, bumps into TJ, and they start to make it out. Doesn't a guy like drown or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Like someone falls into water.
Was it Axel? And they think he's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Axel falls into water, so it's like just Sarah and TJ at this point.
So they finally find an escape route, and guess who's there?
Harry Warden! And this becomes like this movie doesn't have a lot of action. There's not a lot of like cool set pieces, but I do like they're running away from him on like a trolley. Mm-hmm. On the railroad tracks, and it's moving.
Mine tracks, yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
I thought it was so slow. Like they were standing on top of the minecart, and you could tell that the actors were moving slowly to keep their balance.
I mean, I feel like you might too. You wouldn't want to fall off and then Harry Warden jump off and like get you.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, but at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, no one in this movie was professional in any way at all. But
I genuinely believe that these people were locals.
Yeah, it gives it a charm about it, I think. I'm like, this movie feels like we're gonna make a movie. You can be in it. You can be in it, I guess. You can too. Like, no one's a professional actor, clearly. It just kind of feels like, to me, it adds to the kind of community feel of it. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just a weird town that decided to make a movie, right?
Well, anyway, so they're battling, and at this point, the sheriff, who I genuinely thought was going to die.
No, he was cool.
He's rounded up the troops.
Posse.
A posse, a true Nova Scotian posse. And they are entering the mine. And that's when...
Oh, yeah, Harry Warden is about to axe TJ. Sarah pulls his mask off. And who is it? It's Axel
Rose.
It's just Axel. And she's like, Axel. Commence an amazing flashback, which I'd like you to describe.
So, earlier in the movie, there was a brief flashback of...
Extremely brief.
Yes.
To the point where probably everyone forgot about it.
Yeah. Of where...
And not in an artful way.
No.
Not in a, oh, that's what it was. In a, wait, what?
It's a brief montage of the original Harry killing people. Mm-hmm. And so once Axel is demasked, it shows the fact that Axel witnessed his dad being murdered.
As a little kid, he was under the bed, and then it cuts to him being covered in blood. It's a kid sucking his thumb under the bed. So I guess he's been Harry Warden the whole time? Has he just been... Why... Was he integral in like setting up the Valentine's dance, which kind of set him off?
I guess so.
So did he want to do it the whole time? What stopped him from doing it?
So the reveal...
It's muddy, baby.
The reveal made me think about a couple things. So he was cheating on Sarah at the beginning.
Oh, he was? With who?
With the girl...
Gretchen?
The girl with the heart shape.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes?
And then... What was the other point? Oh, that was my main point.
Okay.
He's... also... Oh, I got it. Do you think he was going to kill Sarah? Or he was just going to kill TJ?
I don't know. See... It's not a very well executed reveal.
No.
The first time I watched it, I was surprised. I'm like, oh, alright, but not in a kind of way. But, I don't know, because at the very end, he does... Okay, well, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
The mine collapses on him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's stuck there. And Sarah and TJ kind of run away, and they're like, get out of here, we're gonna like, get him out and get him, make sure that he doesn't hurt anybody else. And Sarah's like, no, TJ, I have to see him. I have to know why. Which, like, all right, no, you don't. But TJ's like, all right. So they go back and they find, like, there's a little pinhole kind of thing between all the rubble. And they see Axel one-armed. Mm-hmm. One of his arms fell off. Not just on its own, like in the collapse or whatever.
Yeah,
and so
off.
He's armless, And he's like, I'll kill all of you, Sarah. You're my bloody Valentine. And he says the name of the movie in the movie.
And credits as he runs away, maniacally laughing into the mines.
So I don't know. He did call her his bloody Valentine.
But how far is he going to get with an arm freshly cut off
no, I don't
and
think
no
so.
tourniquet?
But I supposedly he was. There was supposed to be a sequel called Return of the Miner, but that didn't actually happen. So I don't know. I assume he just died in the mines. Like,
well,
why? If you have a tear in the corner of your eye?
Because I yawned, and when I yawn, I get real like.
I get teary-eyed too.
And so it always looks like I'm trying for it. In fact, I'm just tired.
Okay.
I'm just a Hal Holbrook.
Okay. So yeah, my bloody Valentine. I don't know if he was gonna kill Sarah.
I don't think so. I kind of think that like he was like
just getting rid of everybody else.
Yeah, with everyone gone, Sarah will be forced to love me because of no other options.
Ain't that just the way? And that's definitely how it would have gone. She would have absolutely loved it.
Yep.
She would not have been freaked out at all.
Nope.
So yeah, I like this movie.
It is a movie.
Yep.
That I watched.
Did you like it?
I feel extremely neutral.
Did you not like it?
I didn't not like it.
Okay. Oh my god.
Like, I don't know. It's just a complete lack of feeling about a movie.
I think this is a holiday that doesn't have a lot of horror movies. So I always watch...
It's true.
I mean, there is the movie Valentine, which came out in like 2001 with like Denise Richards, and I've never seen that one.
No, thank you. It was one of those Scream ripoffs.
Yes, definitely.
The slasher rebirth.
Yes, the 90s. But yeah, I think I love that there's kind of a horror movie for every holiday, and this is kind of it for Valentine's Day. And I think it's less it's kind of more genuine than other horror movies of the time, I think. Like, looking back at stuff like, I don't know, Last House on the Left or all that, I feel like there was, in that era, there was a...
meanness.
Yeah, there was, like, a really, like, dark, kind of, like, spiteful and just cynical masochism going on in a lot of those movies.
It was a very cynical era with, like, Watergate, post-Watergate and all that.
But this movie feels like, yeah, it's a horror movie, but I'm not...
But also Canadian.
Yeah, I'm not watching it to get my kicks from seeing people killed, you know? I mean, and it doesn't really... It's not really that kind of movie. Like, the kills aren't... I mean, the laundromat kill is kind of cool, but it's not for the novelty of it, you know? Like something like Nightmare on Elm Street, no matter how much I love it, like, a lot of the appeal is, like, the novelty of the kills.
Yeah.
And, like, how it's done and how interesting it can be.
I am interested to see the remake, as it's supposed to be just in a more fun tone, and that's what I felt like was missing.
I feel like this, it could have been... If there was less blood, could have been like a thriller. You know, it's definitely a horror movie, but it has the tone where it's not like gleefully, you know, like, it's not gleeful in it, but it's also not like
it could be a Brian De Palma movie.
Yeah, it could be kind of an exploitation like thriller if it was shot in a different way. You know,
I definitely see that.
I think it's just a weird, unique little movie that it combines two of my favorite things: Valentine's Day and horror movies.
It's checks your boxes.
So you want to just talk about like?
Why? I want to hear more about your presentation.
Oh.
We wrapped it up last week.
I heard that, and you were like, "I haven't gotten a text back." I was at a burlesque show, so I couldn't just like text you, bro.
Excuse me, ladies. Hold up. I got a text back.
Put that titty away. I have to text Wyatt. Well, it was a presentation, and at this conference, I presented my paper called "Growing Inside: Cabin Horror, Nature, and the Body." So this might be kind of boring because it's like an academic paper or whatever.
I feel like it's an interesting topic and very much pertains to what the show was founded on.
It does. Okay, so in it, I talk about, it was from a class called Nature and Technics. It was kind of a nightmare because I don't care about nature or technology. You know my stance on technology.
Right, you're a Luddite.
Yes, but I'm not too hot on nature neither. So I just want to live in a house alone by myself, and I'll be okay. But, so cabin horror is kind of a subgenre that is really interesting to me because I feel like in those films, it's all usually kind of the same Evil Dead storyline where it's a bunch of kids going in to an abandoned cabin that's really overgrown, and then kind of nature itself rebelling against them. So in that paper, I talk about how the cabin is kind of a symbol of human occupation and civilization and colonization, because if we look at the land or the forest as like a colonized space, humans come in, take land, build upon it, inhabit it. So in these films, nature, it has agency and is kind of like an actor and a character that is very malevolent and just wants to rid nature of humanity.
Right, cleanse itself.
Yeah, so in the cabin horror movies, the cabin is usually very overgrown and kind of dilapidated. So that's nature coming in and attempting to decolonize.
Yeah.
But when the people come back in, or the people create a cabin, or people settle in the land, they usually are met with natural forces overtaking them and trying to get them out of the area. So in something like Evil Dead, it's very literal, because like the evil forces don't really have a face. It's just shown as the camera rushing through the woods, kind of like a predator, like running and hunting. A big thing in each of these movies as well is that nature is often associated with the woman's body, so it seems more susceptible to natural influence. So like the cabin, so goes the cabin, so goes the woman's body in these movies. They get kind of invaded through Evil Dead, the tree rape, obviously, which is a very unpleasant aspect of those films. In The Witch, Thomason is kind of, everyone blames her for all of the like natural disasters that are happening, and the witch is obviously a feminine embodiment of
the
nature.
witch, you mean the Vavitch?
Yes, I do. And then, of course, in Honeymoon, it takes the possession that happens in Evil Dead through the sexual assault and takes it to the extreme of pregnancy. Yeah. So it's really just how women's bodies and cabin structures are easily retaken by nature to kind of exact revenge on human settlers.
Yes.
That's what I talked about.
Well, good job.
Thank
We're proud of you.
Thanks. I was nervous, but it went pretty well.
Well, good.
I was the only, well, it was me and 3 people who were older than me, 2 who were like in their 40s and 1 who was in her 30s, and one guy did pretty well. He just kind of talked off the cuff. Another guy would talk and be like, no. So that was upsetting. Ugh. And then the girl got flustered and sounded like she was out of breath and would take like 30-minute pauses or something. So I think I did either second or best.
Well, congrats.
I'm like, oh, I'm so unprofessional. I didn't bring a PowerPoint. And then they all struggled with their PowerPoints for 15 minutes. So I'm like, I'm looking good.
Suck at technology.
But yeah, we had a decent turnout too.
That's
there were
good.
about 11 people watching. So it was fun.
Out here repping horror.
Yeah. But it was interesting because one guy talked about the difficulty of actors, especially in low budget, like cheapy movies, to like actually hold their breath and to disguise breathing when they're playing dead in movies, and how that really kind of shatters the illusion.
I've always wondered about that.
Well, and like he posits that it's like it's a tell, and that horror movies are kind of selling you a lie. Where like, here's representations of death, and we're gonna make you believe it, but like the limitations of the human body really just undercuts that because we can't actually appear dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about Don't Breathe and some other films. It was really cool. And then the lady presented on Raw.
Ooh.
And then the other guy presented on Possession, which is one of my favorites. It's a very, very weird movie that we need to do. It's super hard to find, so I had to. It's like I have BitTorrented it and Hamilton. And those are the only things I've ever BitTorrented because they're hard to find. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
Can I ask you a question?
I would love for you to.
Can we talk about romance in horror movies?
I was going
or like your favorite like genre romance movies?
I was going to ask you what your favorite romantic horror movie was.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so...
And it can be anything. We can do
like my favorite
romances or like horror romances.
I know my favorite genre. It's not horror, but my favorite... Well, I think it's my overall favorite romantic movie.
Aww.
It's not really romantic, but it does center around a couple. Upstream Color.
Okay.
It's by Shane Carruth, who made Primer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Primer, you know that's like the weirdest time travel movie ever, because he has like a degree from MIT in theoretical physics, and it strictly adheres to like mathematical and scientific law about time travel. And so his follow-up to that, Upstream Color, is about... It's a mystery movie about this couple who their lives become intertwined, and they know they're connected, but they have to figure out why. And it involves like a con artist.
I love con artists.
And orchid flowers, and pigs.
Cool.
And like I really want to talk about it, but you have to see it because it's such a great mystery movie.
Cool.
It's very, like, the soundtrack is great. It's very ambient, electronic.
Mm-hmm.
The cinematography is great.
The cinematography.
Cinematography. It's all like Austin. I'm pretty sure it's shot in Austin, and it's just some great like countryside and then like downtown. It looks great.
Very cool.
That's my favorite romantic movie. I did see Amelie for the first time last night since I saw it in high school, and it's been
long time.
A decade.
You're an old man.
Filled with regret. It holds up.
The guy Janae is kind of ripping on Guillermo for stealing from Amelie and Delicatessen for Shape of Water.
I definitely see
inspiration.
The French whimsy. There's a sense of French whimsy in Shape of Water.
Yeah,
and I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to see Delicatessen.
Me too. I feel like that would be a fun one. I saw his between Delicatessen and Amelie, I guess. City of Lost Children.
That's another one I've always wanted to see.
I love that movie. Young Ron Perlman.
I love
He's
dark
like
fantasy
18 years
things
old
like that.
in that movie.
Oh my god.
And it's very, very sweet.
Is this the same director as Alien Resurrection?
Mm-hmm. Alien 3.
No.
Yes.
David Fincher did 3.
I thought, okay, well, he did one of the aliens.
Yeah, Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, the Winona Ryder
yeah.
one. Yeah, but Jean-Pierre Jeunet took a French film class in undergrad.
Oh.
And we watched a few of those.
Let's see. Eternal Sunshine is up there.
You and Al go hard on that movie.
That's one of our first things together.
Oh.
We were in a coffee shop and we just started. This is the dorkiest.
My God, I'm gonna throw up.
Throw up into your slime. But one of the moments where I really started to like crush on her was like, oh my god, she can quote the movie with me. It was a very romantic moment for me.
Anything else? Other movies?
You start talking, I'll think about horror romance.
Okay. I think my favorite horror romance is Only Lovers Left Alive.
Ooh. Yeah.
Which is more of a romance movie than a horror movie. It's just basically, it's a romance movie that happens to be about vampires. Yeah. But, yeah, I love that movie. It's truly, the conflict isn't whether or not they're gonna stay together or get together or whatever, because they've been together for hundreds of years,
yes.
And they've had like 17 weddings across the decades or whatever.
It's such a good movie.
But it's just kind of like keeping, I guess, love and interest and hope alive. Like when you're, it's basically like, oh, what would it be like if you were a vampire with major depressive disorder? Like, that's it. One thing I have and another thing I love. I
feel like Tilda Swinton isn't manically depressed. Like, she's a more optimistic
No,
one.
I'm talking about Tom Hiddleston, because he's like
he's more your thing.
Dark, depressing, and she's trying to convince him like, hey, there's really like wonder and magic in the world, and we get to see all of it, you know?
I love Tilda anyway, but I love her in that.
She's so sweet. She's like a voracious reader, and she just loves content and like loves art and just like creation and he's all the things that she can enjoy. And he's very jaded.
He's like a vampiric Jack White.
Yeah, they talk about Jack White in that movie. They both love Jack White, but it's just
Jim Jarmusch,
who is one of my favorite directors. He also did Dead Man and Patterson.
I've been needing to see Patterson.
And there's one of my favorite lines where Tilda is like, this is the worst he's been since the 1890s when he hung out with Keats and Byron and all those assholes. But I love that era and romantic poetry and stuff like that. So it's just a very like, there's not much of a plot to speak of, but it's very lush and beautiful to look at, and a lot of very emotional.
It makes, while Detroit's been like up and coming in horror movies a lot, and it's always used to like as like threatening architecture.
Yeah. Only
Lovers Left Alive. There's a sense of like sad lost grandeur.
Yes. They go to a beautiful old decrepit like theater, and then it's now like a car park, so it's kind of like, I feel like it's like about the passage of time and how to like remain not cynical or jaded, like seeing all the destruction that humanity brings upon
itself. A sad movie. John Hurt, who's R.I.P. I've always loved him.
He plays Christopher Marlowe, the guy who actually wrote Shakespeare's plays.
He turns in just a great tragic performance.
It's such a cool movie.
Anton Yelchin, also R.I.P.
He's been in so many of my favorite movies. No, but it's a really lovely, like lush cinematic movie.
What about who would tell us about some of your favorite like romantic movie couples?
Can I do straight romance? Not like straight people, but like non-genre romance.
You could even do like movie characters you wish were together.
Oh, okay. Mac and Dennis. No, I'm kidding.
If only our audience could see my surprise face, because I was not anticipating an Always Sunny reference. Like, where did that come? I didn't.
Shut up.
I didn't see it coming for miles.
We've already talked about it, but I think Minnie Driver and John Cusack in Grosse Point Blank.
That's a great one.
I love them because they're perfect together and they have such amazing chemistry. I'm that bitch who constantly be watching Pride and Prejudice 2006. Like, that is the most romantic movie of all time. It's so well done and so like slow and deliberate and funny, and just Matthew McFadden as Darcy and Keira Knightley are so perfect together. And like, it's like the hottest movie also. The hottest movie where no one shows their ankles or shoulders. But they're like on the verge of just macking hard like every time they see each other.
If you want that version, just watch Atonement.
Oh, it's so hot. What else? The best sexual chemistry I've ever seen in a movie is in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with that. Don't laugh.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up there. Yeah, the scene where she just like trounces around on Arnie.
Wrestles with him.
Yeah.
It's true, and they don't get together. They don't even kiss in that movie, but it is like white hot chemistry. It's so good. Probably the saddest. I'm like looking over at my DVD shelf. Saddest romance is My Own Private Idaho. Because it's Keanu and River Phoenix.
But what about Keanu as his dog?
What?
It's the saddest love.
Oh, and John Wick. Yeah. But Keanu and River Phoenix are like street hustlers in the Pacific Northwest, and Keanu. It's actually like a retelling of Henry IV.
Oh, I thought King Lear. Never mind.
No, but so it's like Shakespearean, but talking about like male prostitutes on the streets of like Portland or whatever. But Keanu's dad is like the mayor, and he wants to get away from that life and like the kingdom on the hill or whatever. So he like hangs out with these street kids, and then River Phoenix like is kind of an orphan, and he's very like he's super from poverty and all that, and he is genuinely in love with Keanu, and Keanu just does it for money. He's not gay. So it's really upsetting.
That's sad.
It's so sad. But they truly love each other in like the most intimate, like strong way. And there's a moment where they're like traveling through Idaho to try to find his mom, and it's like they have like a fire on the side of the road, and he's like, Keanu talks about like, oh, a guy can't really love another guy, you know, I only do it if you pay me. And he's like, I think I love you and you don't pay me. I really just want to kiss you right now. And he's like, okay, and they just like hug it out. But it's like it's like a straight guy, gay guy, like unrequited love without like get away from me. I'm not gay. It's not like that. It's not like super homophobic. Just like
that's good.
Yeah, it's so sweet and just like heartbreaking. Ugh. Crimson Peak. It's pretty hot.
Agreed, disagree.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm not talking about him and his sister. I'm talking about him and...
Well, obviously. Oh, man. You know what couple I love that I wish had gotten more time together in their cinematic universe?
What?
Ripley and Hudson from Aliens.
Oh, God.
Like...
I agree.
Aliens has been one of the most important movies to me since childhood. And so I've grown up looking at like as Hudson and Ripley as a sort of like pseudo parents. Okay. Pseudo cinematic parents.
Screw you, Mom and Dad. Ripley would let me go out.
And so the fact that Alien 3 happened and didn't give them a happy arc.
I refused to watch that once you told me what happened.
Oh, it's so sad.
I don't like it.
So the fact that like Hudson and Ripley didn't get to have a family with Newt is so sad.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
See, my favorite, my favorite couple of all time is Desmond and Penny from Lost. Desmond, whether people who are wrong don't like the ending of Lost. I think it's perfect.
Lost, so like,
but
I don't know what to.
Desmond is this sad Scotsman who frequently becomes unstuck in time, and so he's constantly trying to get back to Penny, and they lose contact for years and years, and he finally manages to call her on like Christmas Eve, and it's like the saddest, most beautiful moment in all of Lost. And they are my favorite couple of all time.
Oh, that's cute. Let me see. Oh, I just had something. Oh yeah, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
I've yet to see that.
It's about a vampire girl in a hijab. Well, in like a chador. So it's like a very long veil. and a guy who's like kind of dresses like an Iranian greaser, and they meet by she kind of like stalks the street of Bad City, which is like a fake city where it's set, but they meet after a Halloween costume party, where he's dressed as Dracula, and he's like out of his mind on ecstasy, like trying to get home, and he's like in somebody's yard, like looking at their like light posts or whatever, and she walks by and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I am Dracula," and she's like, not about it. And then he like hugs her and she's like not into it, but it's very sweet, and like she takes him home and makes sure he's okay, and she puts on music, and it's Death by White Lies, this is one of the best uses of music in movies, in my opinion. And she puts it on, and it's the slowest scene, and she turns like her disco ball, and this like pumping like techno rock is playing, and he comes up behind her and like kisses the back of her neck, and she God, it's so romantic. It's so good. So romantic.
Let's see. Another couple that should have gone together.
Black Phillip and the Witch. Or is it implied that they are together?
I think it's very implied. Obviously, Dr. Grant and Dr. Settler. That was a crushing...
What is that? Oh.
Jurassic Park.
Oh. I like that they weren't together.
What?
They're colleagues, bro. Not everything has to be about fucking.
Really?
Really?
Out here with your Always Sunny
That
takes?
Is about fucking.
Oh my god. Let me have... You don't get a right to take this from me.
Okay. I just like that in big action movies like that when there isn't romance.
Well, I'm not saying that, but later on, it shows that she marries someone.
Oh.
And it's not him. And it's always upsetting.
And Wyeth is upset about it.
So upset. God. Vanessa Ives and
Ethan.
Mr. Chandler.
Ethan Chandler.
That's a real doomed romance.
Yeah.
That I love.
Her and Dracula were pretty hot though together.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He drove her to suicide.
Well, it'd be like that sometimes, don't it?
No, don't have to.
Coop and Audrey. I know she was 18. I know. But the only reason that they didn't actually get together was because Lara Flynn Boyle was dating Kyle MacLachlan at the time. And she's like, I'm not having that. So, no, they were perfect for each other. I don't know if... I think the tension would have been better than actually them getting together,
I get that.
Because it would have been kind of weird. I mean, she is of age and everything, but there is a big age difference and all that. But they just have, like, the most crackling chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
I get that.
Which was pretty much ruined in season 3.
Yipes.
Because Bad Coop rapes her while she's in a coma, and then she has his baby, who is evil. What? Richard is the worst character ever. But it wasn't good Coop, it was Bad Coop. It was Bob Coop.
Ugh.
My friend and I, when I went out to Albuquerque, I stayed with my friend Abby for free for like 7 days, and that's why I stayed so long.
What a good friend.
I know, right? I love her. But I got her into Buffy, so we watched a lot of Buffy. It's common knowledge on the record that I am Team Spike. Very, very hard. He's my favorite character. But we were talking about it a lot, because that Gilmore Girls and Buffy, they're like 3 boyfriends, and it's very important which team you're on.
Oh my
kind
God.
of. But I feel the same way about both of those shows, which is I have a clearly favorite BF, but I don't think any of them should have been with the main girl. Like, Rory's awful, and Buffy is too good for any of those guys. But also on Buffy, like, all the relationships are super toxic and, like, unhealthy most of the time. It's really just, like when she does get together with Spike, it's, like, secret hookups because, like, she's ashamed of it and everything. It's really not good.
Not great.
But the healthiest relationship, and my favorite relationship on Buffy, is Spike and Drew. Drusilla, his GF, who is insane. at the beginning.
Mhm.
So they come to town in season 2, and he's like a badass 70s punk British dude.
Yeah, he's a vampire Stink.
No. He's a vampire Billy Idol. There's a difference. And she dresses like 1800s Victoriana and has like porcelain dolls that because Angel like drove her to insanity.
Yeah.
So but he gets what she says like all the time. She's like, at one point she's like, do you love me even the parts you can't see? And he's like, eyeballs to entrails, baby. Like they just like get each other to the point where it's just like he understands everything she says even though none of it makes sense. And they have the most healthy relationship built on mutual respect and affection, which is extremely rare in that show. Anything else?
Well, as we wrap up, we can include favorite gal pals and bromances.
By gal pals, do you mean gay women? Or like girl friends who are girls?
Friends who are girls. Because Valentine's is not just about romantic love.
Galentine's
it can be
Day.
about friendship.
I love all the kids in It. We also watched It.
Yes.
I showed Abby It.
Oh, nice.
So I think they're like, we're talking like friendship love.
Mm-hmm. Those kids.
Ideal.
Them and the Stranger...
Stranger Things kids.
Yes.
Oh my god. I went into both of those things being like, I don't like children. I do not want to have children. And then I came out and I'm like, I guess I'm a mother of 12.
I could see
now.
you being a cool aunt.
Me too. That's about it. Because I want to be able to go home.
Yeah.
You can't be like, all right, kids, I'll see you in 3 days.
That's how I feel about like dogs. I like dogs, but I don't like barking.
If you feel that way about dogs, I don't know how good a dad you would be. No offense, but if you feel like a dog is too much pressure.
That's why I want to be an uncle.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a
it's
dad.
all on McCall and Quinn.
It's all on them.
They have
Not
to reproduce. Together. Oh my god. What else?
Tucker and Dale. That's one of my favorite friendships.
That is great. I do love that.
It's just two guys who they don't make gross jokes.
Mm-mm.
They go out of their way
sweet.
to help people.
Yep.
And like my people. They big heart, not always a big brain.
No. This is probably not great, but I do love like true romance, which is we've talked about it a little bit. This is more like romance, not bromance or whatever.
Yeah.
But true romance where it's like their relationship is never in question. Like they fall in love and get married within the first like 20 minutes of the movie, and then it's just like them outrunning all these crazy criminals that they're mixed up in. So, but it's very much like they're always like 100% for each other, and it's ride or die. Can I just say, I don't care if you have sex or if you're actually dating or like in media or in a story or anything. I don't care about that. If you're ride or die for each other and you'll do anything for each other, that's the thing that I'm most interested in.
I get that.
Tulip and Cassidy.
Yes.
Ride or die.
So good.
From Preacher. I do also like Natural Born Killers. Like that movie's really fucked up.
Yes.
And like their relationship is really messed up. And it's very like dark and sadistic. But they hold a candle for each other.
I like couples who are just kind to each other and also kind to like their kids. Like Stanley Tucci and Easy A.
Aww. I love that. I love that movie.
What? Who told you were adopted?
We're all gay. I was for a while. It's fine.
Such a good dad.
So great. I love
Touch of the Tooch.
Everyone should watch the Sam Rockwell rap video about Stanley Tucci. Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
So good. So good.
Anything else? Lisa and Johnny in the room. I'm joking.
Okay. Man.
He's your future husband. Can I end with a really... Well, we don't have to end, but can I mention a really messed up one that is upsetting if you think about it, but is their romance is popping and their chemistry is off the charts? India and Charlie and Stoker.
No.
It's sexy. It's really hot.
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
The Fishman and Eliza had more chemistry.
I don't know about more, but also
It was my favorite romance of the year.
Bobby and Shelley, Twin Peaks. I feel like
Bobby.
I love Bobby so much, but he's such a has such a martyr complex, and is such an asshole, but he genuinely loves her. I love that in not in real life, but if you're a terrible asshole dude and then just somebody breaks you open, you're like, all right, I guess I feel things now.
Help me in feeling.
I love it.
Well, do you have any recommendations?
You go first. While I think of
So
something.
I've been meaning to bring it up for weeks, but every time we get to recommendations, it's slipped my mind. But a month or so ago, I finally got around to watching the recent Nick Cave documentary. Play it again or sing it again with, play it again with feeling, and it's a documentary.
Once more with feeling.
Something like that.
I think that's it.
But it's about
play it again with feeling isn't a thing people say. Okay.
Whatever. So it's about his most recent album, Skeleton Tree, which was written in the wake of his oldest son dying. And and the album is fantastic. I've loved it for a long time now. And so it follows Nick as he goes through both the recording process and the grieving process. And it's so weirdly intimate. And it's in a way that is hard to describe. It's also one of the few documentaries where the camera crew is acknowledged, which gives it a whole different vibe. And so, it has Nick performs all the songs from the album throughout the course of the documentary. And what's interesting is the documentary was actually shot in 3D. And even on, a 2D screen, you can tell. It's one of the best looking documentaries I've ever seen.
Cool.
And it's really beautiful. It's very heartbreaking. It's an interesting look into the life of a person who may or may not be an actual vampire.
I love Nick Cave.
So do I. He's a very interesting person. It reminds me very much of Johnny Cash's later albums.
Yeah, I love those.
It's very much akin to that process.
Yeah.
And it's on Amazon Prime, so
cool.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Very cool. Anything else?
That's a big one.
Okay. So I think I don't have anything specific, but Pause Mr. Show has been on my TV.
David Cross has been staring at us, yes.
So watch Mr. Show. I love it.
It's a delightful sketch comedy.
It's been one of my favorites since I was big into IFC in high school. We got IFC and I changed my life because they would show Ginger Snaps on Grindhouse and, Friday night at midnight. It was
a big developing point for friendship with Tyler.
Yes, I watched Teeth on that channel.
Yeah.
But at some point during my high school career, they started playing. They got the rights to Ben Stiller Show and Mr. Show, and both of those have Bob Odenkirk in it. Classic '95 Bob Odenkirk.
Bob is in. Would you say he's your top 5 celebrity crushes?
Top 3, baby.
Did you see him in his Incredible 2 trailer?
No, but he looks like they animated Bob.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see an Incredibles 2. I mean,
what? Why?
I just don't care.
What if it's good?
Then I might see it. I don't know, but I'm just not hyped for it like everybody else seems to be. But 1996 Bob Odenkirk is vintage Bob. He is Babley. He's the Bob I fell in love with.
Bob as the Southern Senator is
Senator Tinkerbell.
Is stellar.
This nude puppet's doing a lascivious fandango on the lap of a full-grown man.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Watch the Mr. Show episode, What to Think. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's incredibly clever.
It's very good.
David Cross is kind of an asshole. Bob's also kind of an asshole, but in a lovable way. And I'm so glad that he is now in Spielberg movies and
Both of them are.
I don't care about David Cross as much, but like I'm so glad that Bob is like multiple Emmy nominated.
Yeah,
Bob
Better Call Saul is consistently fantastic.
He's such a good actor, and he's so funny. And Mr. Show has been one of my favorite comedy shows for 8 to 10 years. Also, just because it's Thursday night and I'm excited about it. Oh, I think I need to pick my fantasy picks. What time is it?
Uh-oh, we better get the show on the road.
Oh god, All Stars 3, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. It's genuinely one of the most entertaining shows on television. It's hilarious. The memes that come out of it are top notch.
And I'm exposed to all of them without watching the
So
show.
funny. Alright, so Mr. Show, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 3. Trixie Mattel for
there
the win.
you have it.
Listen to Two Birds on iTunes. All right.
Listen to us on iTunes too.
Sure.
Drop us our first review.
That'd be nice.
Someone give us our first street cred.
Be like, too much slime. 1 star. Anyway.
Would listen again.
Thanks for listening. We'll get back next
Love you
week.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Keely behaved like a man demented, obsessed, utterly lost.